What is going on, guys? Eric here from Bolts and Banter with another video, and today we are working on my 2018 4Runner TRD Off-Road, and we are going to upgrade the dash cam setup that I have in this car. This dash cam setup has been okay for about a year or so. When I originally got the car, I actually had a dash cam just wired through the cigarette lighter. Eventually I got the rear view camera hardwire adapter, and I used an older Aukey dash cam that doesn't have an adhesive mount. It just has a suction cup on it, and I put that in behind the rear view mirror, and it has worked so far. Once in a while the camera decides that it's not going to record, and once in a while the hardwire tap seems to be not supplying 5 volts to the actual camera. I'm not sure if that is a hardwire thing or if that's a problem with the camera or a problem with the car itself. So I'm actually going to upgrade the dash cam setup and hopefully get rid of that problem. So we are going to replace that old dash cam setup with this Thinkware F70 Pro that Thinkware was nice enough to send to us, and I like it because it has a slim profile and it is definitely going to upgrade the features of the current dash cam. So the current dash cam that I have right now has a screen, which is nice if you're trying to look at your screen while you're driving the whole time, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to have a reliable dash cam that's always recording when I need it to record, and I have decided that that recording is only going to be when the car is driving. So this is not going to have a parking mode enabled on it. It's just going to be when I drive the car. And I opted for a single channel only because this is what I'm going to use for now. If I decide that I need to upgrade to a 2-channel one, I'll go ahead and do that, but to be honest, I just don't feel like wiring it all the way to the back. So we're going to use this one. It's a nice slim profile, and instead of a suction cup like the Aukey, it will have a adhesive mount instead. So I'll give you guys a look at what comes in the box. You get the camera, you get the power cable, you get the adhesive mount itself, and I believe you get a couple of other adhesive pads. So you get one extra adhesive pad in case you screw up. I usually screw up, so this is really helpful. Thank you, Thinkware. You get some 3M sticky pads for the wire, and you get a pry tool for trims. Now, the Thinkware site says that you can plug this in to your cigarette lighter adapter, which is exactly what this comes with, and they do recommend that you hardwire it. They have a couple of other ways that you can power this camera. They do have an OBD2 plug where you can go ahead and plug in the camera to the OBD2 port, and that will have a parking mode, so it will always be running even when the car is not running. So you have that option. You also have this standard option here that I mentioned, but there's also an opportunity to hardwire it. So you can also hardwire it to your fuse box. That is something that you could do in this car, but because we already have a mirror mount tap, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use that tap to power the camera. If you're new to dash cams, there are 2 types of dash cam voltages that are pretty common in the dash cam world, 5 volts and 12 volts. This particular Thinkware dash cam runs on 12 volts. So this cigarette lighter doesn't have a step down inside of it. It's just a fuse in here, plug it in, it gives 12 volts to the camera, and the camera takes 12 volts. In my opinion, that's a simpler way of doing it, because if you do have a 5-volt dash cam and you're looking to hardwire it, you have to hardwire in a step down to your hardwiring system. So if you hardwire from the fuse box that gives off 12 volts, you'll need to have a step down, and some of them are a little larger than this, but these are typically the smallest step downs you can find with an onboard USB port. We actually have this from another project, and this is what we're going to use to help us install the Thinkware dash cam. What we're going to do is actually just take off the end of this and get the plug that we need for the Thinkware F70 Pro, and then we're going to chop off the leads to this, and instead of outputting a 5-volt signal with this little step down here, we're just going to go straight to 12 volts. So that's going to have us neatly install the wires behind the mirror. We'll tape it all up and make it look good. We're going to do that inside, and then once that's done, we'll go ahead and plug everything back up and give a nice little review of the F70 Pro from Thinkware. You guys can see that we have a harness from the previous Hardwire dash cam. It's the same exact harness, actually, a plug-and-play one. The company that I purchased this from sent me 2. The reason why we're using this as a spare is because this part actually doesn't work, so perfect for us. We don't need it. We just need the wires, and then we're going to save this for next time in the event that we do need to go back to a 5-volt dash cam. We know that this works. Once again, I'm just not sure why the dash cam, this one doesn't power up all the time. I'm going to chalk it up to the fact that this is an old dash cam, and that's why we're replacing it with the Thinkware F70. While we're here, we're just going to do a quick little mock-up of the wires. I just want to see what length we need to cut the OEM harness for the F70 Pro to. And I'm just going to guess, because there's quite a lot of slack here, we don't need to take off that much. If you are watching this and you don't want to hardwire your F70 Pro, that's totally fine. You could plug it into your cigarette lighter. I just need the cigarette lighter for other things, so I am just going to run it this way. Plus, I already have this in my little stash, so I don't really need to spend that much money on it, and I'm confident that I can make it look clean as long as we take our time and make sure that we do the wiring the right way. While we're here, we're also going to do a quick little mock-up of the camera itself and the adhesive pad. Make sure we have enough room behind the mirror where we plan to install it. I also want to make sure that I can see that the camera is recording while I drive without having to kind of duck down behind the mirror. I just want to make sure I can see the status LED. That way I'm confident that this thing is always on. But that's kind of where I want the dash cam to be, give or take. So I don't actually need that much power wire. I do need to make sure that everything fits behind the rear view mirror. I'm also extra, and I run an extra wide mirror as well, so that might get in the way. Let's see what we can do. I'm actually gonna mock it up with the Broadway mirror as well. At the same time, if I go too far up, then all I'm capturing is a lot of the dot matrix, so being weary about that. At the same time, I'm trying to be OCD and mount it within the dot matrix to go for a cleaner look. Although no one's really gonna see that, but my OCD. It looks like that's where we're gonna land, and that's right behind the mirror, and then we'll be able to quickly mount and dismount the camera itself because it's on this little slidey thing. That's really nice. I'm glad that Thinkware thought of this. I really like how this goes together like that, and I like how the power plug is up towards the top of the camera. That way it's easier to tuck that wire up like that. I think we have a pretty good idea of how we're going to mount this, so let's go back inside and let's go ahead and make that harness. So we need about that much wire. We'll be right back with the finished product. Before we actually go ahead and snip off the power wire to the Thinkware F70 Pro, just to make sure it works, we are in the App Store right now trying to pair it to the app. That way we can get a live view going. Once we get a live view going, we will check to make sure that our planned mounting is good for the windshield of the car. Connection does take a little bit longer than I expected. This goes for about $70 to $80 on Amazon at the time of recording, so don't expect the world from it, but it could be a little faster. Let's go with Eastern Standard Time. Cool, done. And let's just get a little preview of what this looks like and get into the settings to get rid of that, I think, motion sensor beeping or crash sensor beeping. We're not going to use GPS. We don't have the auxiliary GPS antenna. That's not built into the camera, but we will download the latest firmware. We're going to come back when that's done. It seems like we had to reconnect the camera or repair the camera to the phone once the firmware connected, so there we go. Let's check out the live view. The app is a little slow, not surprised. Again, for a camera of this price point, can't expect the world. Cool, that's with the blue lens protector on, so let's take that off. Actually, we'll take that off when we're done installing it, but let's just go ahead and mock up the image that we wanted to capture and see if the dashboard or any of the windshield gets in the way. We'll be right back, then we'll make the harness.
Disconnected from a smartphone.
Not sure why that disconnected, but we will be right back once we make the harness and plug everything up and get this physically installed into the car. All right, so we are back. Sorry for the rain, it is super loud, but we are here and back in the car. We're gonna quickly install this. This is our 12-volt tap. And because the Thinkware does not require a 12-volt to 5-volt step down, all I did was chop off that little step down, chop off the 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter, and here is our finished harness. At the moment, I can't really tell if this rain is going to sound good on camera or not. If it ends up sounding terrible, I'm going to put some music right here. If not, then enjoy this somewhat therapeutic rainy day installation video. And there we go.
Please have a safe drive today.
And it looks like we are having some connection issues. We'll be right back. Hopefully we get that sorted out sooner rather than later. Okay, so while we get this to try and connect for the third time, a couple of things that I like about the camera. I like how it comes with an SD card already. I like the simple design. I like how you don't need a step down, so it is purely 12 volts. That's nice, so that means the step down's in here. Really cool. It saves a little bit of wiring fuss, but I don't like how I can't seem to get it to connect to my phone so I can get a live view. I managed to get it once before updating the firmware, and now that the firmware has been updated, I can't get it to connect at all. So hopefully I can fix that. Otherwise, if I can't see what this dash cam is recording, I can't really assume that it's recording anything. So I will try once again to have it connect, and we will take it from there. All right, so we are gonna mount it right about there.
We'll try.
In a quest to get this as tight and as tucked in as possible, I think we might have mounted it too close to the rear view mirror. We're gonna do a couple of tests to see if we can get that out of the way, but for now I will cut the video and then I'll come back once I get everything situated. All right, guys, here is the Thinkware F70 Pro installed. Thankfully, they have that second adhesive strip because the first time I mounted this, I tried to cheat and get everything clean up in the dot matrix so that way you don't see a little adhesive pad on the side. Unfortunately, it wouldn't work with the rear view mirror adjustment, so I had to take off the first adhesive pad, stick another one on, and now that is good the way it is. It still hides behind the mirror, so as a driver you can't really see it from here, so it's not obtrusive when you drive, and it's still clean behind the rear view mirror, so that way when you're looking out of the car from the outside in, it's still a clean looking design and it doesn't look bad on the outside either. Give you guys a quick little idea of what it looks like. So this was the cleanest installation I could come up with, and again, this is a no-cut mirror tap, so we're tapping 12 volts directly from the same power supply as the auto dimming mirror. We just got rid of that 5-volt step down and then created our own little custom harness. That way this is tucked away. And my quick little review of the F70 Pro is it comes with everything that you need to install it. I do like how it comes with an SD card, and I do like the way that the adhesive mount is designed. Very, very clean, and it is not going to obstruct view at all. The thing is, the app is a little bit clunky, so hopefully an app update happens. The other competitors in the market have apps as well, and their apps are not nearly as clunky as the Thinkware one is, so I think if they do update that and make connection a little bit easier so that way you can get to the live view faster, that would be nice. I'm actually going to download the SD card files and play some clips of them here of driving around. I hope the quality is good. It says that it is a 1080p dash cam, so we'll hold them to it. So far, I'm happy with the install. I really like how it looks, so that was a big thing for me, and I am willing to let go of the old dash cam that had a screen for one that can reliably record without one. So we'll be right back, but here are some shots of it installed. Guys, that's going to do it for this installation of the Thinkware F70 Pro dash cam in this 2018 4Runner that we hardwired with a mirror tap. I am going to end the video for now. I will update the comments down below if I find anything out of the ordinary or anything special about this F70 Pro. But overall, I am happy with the upgrade. I think it looks a lot cleaner than the old setup. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions about the Thinkware F70 Pro, please comment down below. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.